Hi, W.R. Buchanan here, showing you my new BPM hand press with the lock and load feature here. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to load 5 rounds and I'm going to show you how this goes so that you can see what the benefits of the lock and load system are for loading ammunition. Okay? So let's start off here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to resize some cases. We're going to put a resizing die in. Now I've already set up the dies so you didn't have to watch that, but this is all there is to it. Pop, back out. This also knocks the primer out, which is caught in the primer catcher right here, which will hold 60 or 70 primers. You'll notice that I have the palms of my hands open so that I don't crush my fingers. You don't hold it like this, you push them together like this. Okay, bink. Okay, that's number 5. So now what I'm going to do, first I'm going to take and change the die, or take the die out. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to clamp this thing to the table, because that's the easiest way to do the rest of the operations. Okay? This is just a cheap bar clamp that I got from Home Depot, or one of them. Okay? So the next step that we're going to do is we're going to prime the cases. Now normally I would do this with a hand primer of some type, but some people want to see it done on the press, so that's what we're going to do here. This is a Lee Ram Prime. It's the cheapest and easiest and simplest tool that you can buy to do this. You put a primer in, you take the case, you stick it in there, and you go, oonce, that's it. Okay. Here's a second one. It takes almost no effort to do this. Probably a good idea to keep your face back from this, because if one of these primers goes off and you're looking down the hole, you're probably not going to like it. That comes under the heading of common sense. Bink. That concludes priming of 5 cases. Now we're going to change the die out. And this die is the flaring and powder charging die. It's a Lee or a C&H die, and it's got a hole through the center of the expander so that when it happens you can take and dump the powder in. So you squish it all the way together. Notice you run it all the way until the handles bottom out. That defines the length or the depth of the case. I have 5 pre-measured charges here. We're doing 8 grains of W231, Winchester 231. Okay, and there is a flared and charged case. On to case number 2. I always like to bump it a little bit to make sure the powder doesn't stick. There's 2. Oh, dump the powder, might as well. Okay. Okay, I'm going to leave that one in there. We're done with that die, so we take it out. We'll pop in the bullet seating die. Okay, these are Keith style 240 grain semi-wad cutters with hollow points, similar to H&G 503 or Lyman 429, 421, and we're going to take and push that in there all the way up to the limits again, and the bullet is seated perfectly, and you can see that the top of the rim is right next to the, right on the crimp groove. Okay, so we'll do another one here. I separate the crimping and the bullet seating operation, as it is much easier to control them more exactly if you do that. I use a fairly heavy flare on the cases to ensure that the bullet base is not deformed by shaving it off, like what happens when you don't have enough flare. The case really doesn't care. These cases have been loaded, I don't even know how many times. I've had them for quite a few years. Okay. Now this load that we're doing here is a mid-range 44 Magnum load for target shooting and such like that. It's running about 900 feet per second out of a 5-inch revolver. Okay, that concludes the bullet seating operation. Now we're going to change the die, and we're going to put the crimp die in, ink, and we're going to crimp each one of these. The die's already set up, and once again it goes to the limit of the press, and you see a perfectly crimped round. We'll do 4 more here. And that concludes the loading of these rounds. And you can see they are as good looking as anything anybody else is going to put out. Okay, whole idea here was to show how quick the die changes are. The Hornady lock and load system is an excellent die change system. There's only 2 of them out there, the Lee breech lock and the Hornady lock and load system. I personally think the Hornady lock and load system is superior, but that's just me. At any rate, that concludes this video, and thank you very much for watching. You can buy this press at BuchananPrecisionMachine.com on the internet.